Good morning.
Good morning.
I actually forgot how to do our intro because they changed a few things in our software.
Yeah.
I can actually add the intro now, so when I click start show, it'll automatically do the intro, but I hadn't done that yet. So I'm like, "Where's the intro?"
Well, I was sitting here wondering, is something wrong? Did it get stuck? Why are we not running it?
Yeah, so here we are. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. We haven't done one of these in a few months.
No, it's been a couple weeks. I think maybe 6 weeks.
I think it's been
Oh,
2 months.
has it been? Wow.
Well, you left in August.
I did. And it's now October.
It is
How
October.
did that happen?
I know.
Yeah.
But welcome to CarYada with Raffi and Dan. Yeah, he's over there. I always get it wrong. He's over there. He's actually in California. I'm in Washington.
Yeah.
So this is a bicoastal, no, not bicoastal, a unicoastal production.
Yes.
But each and every week we come on here. Well, we used to be each and every week. Maybe it's each and every month we come on here and we talk about buying and selling and trading and leasing and credit and repairing and restoring and auctioning.
Yeah.
That's all. Thanks,
That's
everybody. No.
Look, the world of cars is changing. It changes every day, and that's why there's always some topic we can cover. There's so much interesting stuff happening. Just if you look at the regular news, you can see there's all kinds of things happening with electric cars, things happening with legislation for certain vehicles, what's happening with internal combustion engine vehicles, what's happening with older cars as they get older. And certain states are saying, man, you can't drive that anymore. So there's all sorts of interesting things happening out there. Whatever your car scene is, if you go to the SEMA show, if you're into lowriders, if you're into hot rods, if you're into restoration classics, or if you're just curious about it's time to buy a new car, what do I do with my old car? We're here to help you.
Well, one thing I did want to talk about is how much Tesla has fallen.
Ah, yes.
Tesla sales are down double digits month over month, high double digits year over year, like in the 40s. And I blame Elon Schmuck.
It's the politicization. I don't know if that's the right way to say, but Elon went too political. That's what happened. He went political, and that's problematic. It's always problematic when you are a leader of a company that makes a product and you voice your political opinions too aggressively. It's highly problematic because people don't buy cars with sort of a political connection. It's one of the few properties or items that we buy where we don't think too much about what the overall politics of that purchase is. It used to be a lot more so because we'd say, I'm a Ford man, or I'm going to only buy American. But it's a little harder to do that these days because cars are made from parts all over the world. And so they come together and get assembled. And so it's a little harder to be sort of very patriotic about your car purchase, and it's much harder to be politically aligned with a car because our executives that have large egos like to speak a lot, and they like to go on these TV and radio shows and talk a lot about their opinions, and that becomes problematic. And I think you are spot on, Dan, that that is impacting. I think level 2 of that problem is the Cybertruck, excuse me. That
The new names, Elon Schmuck and the Cyberjunk.
Yes, the Cybertruck is just, it's so problematic in so many levels. I heard yesterday 5th recall for that vehicle. And now recalls happen a lot. So it's not that this is special to the Cybertruck, but there's so many other problems with that vehicle. It's beyond uh, any new vehicle release that we've ever seen. I don't understand how people continue to buy them.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing is I can't believe people are buying them used when they have so many sitting waiting to be delivered.
Yeah,
And I'll go back to when I was an early Tesla guy.
yeah,
2013, I had a Tesla Model S. And that's when they were, that was their only car. The Roadster they'd already stopped at that point. Uh, the 3 wasn't even a concept car yet. But I went to pick, I've told this story before, but I went to pick mine up over in Seattle and it wasn't ready yet. They were still washing. So the guy goes, all right, walk over with me. Because I got another appointment on its way in to pick up their car. So we go in and there's a warehouse full of them. And this whole thing is, that they're so scarce and rare. And I go, what's with all these? He goes, well, it's marketing. He goes, we don't have enough space to store all the cars we have. Like they tell people they don't have any cars. I said, how long ago did my car get here? He goes, oh, probably about 8 weeks ago.
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So they were building up the sort of mystique around.
Yeah, that's where there was some genius. They never did ads. You've never seen a commercial for a Tesla. They made it so celebrities wanted them. They made them, they started with a really high-end, expensive car at the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, first they had the Lotus one, built on the Lotus, the Roadster.
Yeah.
Then they did the S, which was all built in America. And it was a high-end luxury car.
Mm-hmm.
And you literally had to wait and wait and wait and wait to get yours.
Yeah.
And they made it like a cool thing. It's kind of like Gmail. When Gmail came out, you had to get an invitation.
Yeah, that's right.
You couldn't just sign up for Gmail.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing as, the electric Porsche, the Taycan, you can get in a Turbo S.
Right. It's
marketing. No turbos.
Where's the turbo?
Adam says, welcome back, fellas.
Hey, Adam.
Elon threw out the Cybertruck as a goof originally, and then so many people were intrigued, they put them into production. And they kind of half-assed it. They had so much time, though, from the time that they originally did it.
Well, the problem, and there are many problems with that truck, but when they released that they were going to make it, they had no idea what it takes to build a truck. And the trucks we have on the market today, from Ford, General Motors, etc., there's a legacy of durability engineering built into every single one of those trucks. And durability engineering, there's only one way to get it, and that's through trial and error, lots and lots of miles, testing. A Ford F-150 is a brilliant example of complexifying very, very difficult projects. There's so many complex things inside a Ford F-150, but it's had decades of simplification under that complex idea. So you get things like super simplified brakes that do very complex things, drivetrains that are enormously complex but are simplified both for manufacturing and longevity. And that's why they're such amazing vehicles. You can pull all kinds of stuff with a contemporary F-150 or F-250. The only thing you can pull with the Cybertruck is a lot of money out of your bank account. So it's a very, very difficult thing. Give Musk another 50 years, and maybe he'll get the Cybertruck right after all of the durability engineering that it takes to build a truck.
Well, Dan in the comments says, are they running out of customers that want a Tesla, or those that already got one? Actually, people are walking away from their Teslas. They're losing money. They're walking away from their leases because you can't buy. That's the other thing that Tesla did during the pandemic, is they made it so all the leases are very closed-end lease. You cannot even buy it yourself because they did not want the market. They didn't want the used cars to be on the market. So they basically said, you leased it for 3 years, you have to turn it back into us.
Yeah.
And so people are just like, I'm walking away. I'm just going to get another vehicle. They're taking the loss. They're paying the difference, walking away because they don't want to drive an Elon Musk related vehicle. I mean, there's actually I've seen Tesla with bumper stickers on and say, I bought this before Elon went crazy.
Yes.
I mean, most
Now,
people don't put bumper stickers on.
now keep in
Not to
mind,
mention the YouTube video, the guy, doing the close and smashes his finger. There's more than one video of guys doing that. Use a carrot. Don't use
yeah,
your finger.
yeah. And there's another series of really great videos where I think two guys bought a Cybertruck and they're intentionally ruining it, and they thought it would take a long time, but they've been able to really, really ruin it within a matter of about a week and a half. It's such an ill-conceived vehicle in so many ways. Um, I would be surprised if it continues to be built uh, over the course of the next 2 years, which, from a collector standpoint, may prove to be the most promising thing about the Cybertruck. That if you buy one and store it and keep your miles low, you might very well have a classic on your hands 10,
Wow.
15, 20 years from now.
It really does look like a 10-year-old tried to draw a DeLorean.
The best one I've seen is, you remember those old stainless steel topped trash cans that had the thing that pivoted back?
Yeah.
I saw one with Cybertruck wheels on it. It looks almost identical.
Our good friend Ray Pepper says, how exciting. Raffi's in the house. And Dan,
And
thank you. And he is in Reno, home
oh,
of the Tesla battery production plant.
there you go.
Ray, you made on our YouTube channel, which we're now only on our YouTube and Facebook channel. So if you're watching on either one, the YouTube channel, I started putting a few shorts up, and I put one up last night that is Ray asking why Saab had the key down on the console.
Yeah.
And 8,500 views later, we still don't know exactly why. Raffi just said it was a safety thing. Somebody commented because they were pilots. They were plane engineers. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, is that where the keys to a plane are? Do they have keys to planes?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't fly airplanes, but maybe someone in our audience.
I can't believe you don't fly airplanes.
I don't. I've flown inside airplanes.
Oh, I've done that too.
With like single engine aircraft with planes or friends who are testing and building up their hours for their private pilot's license. Had a lot of fun doing that. If you've never done that before, scare yourself and give it a shot because it's a lot of fun.
No, Ray, I do not miss the Saab with the blown out window.
Did it sell?
Oh yeah, $265, the lowest price car ever to sell.
Wow.
At Stokes.
Wow, $265.
That was the net after all the fees. I think it went for $350.
Well, there you go. That's your Saab story.
I'm done with Saabs.
That's all right. You can make it up in volume.
Well, the Ford Expedition did sell, so that was good.
Yeah, that is good. I'm glad that one worked out.
So what else? It has been quite a while.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say we got to give an update on the Country Squire.
Country Squire, we do not have the title.
No title still.
Still no title. I haven't heard back from the guy. Still haven't paid for it technically.
Well,
and
yeah,
I was told by the storage place I need to get, and Isabel, if you're watching, I will move them. I promise. My partner's not here to help me move cars. I've got 3 cars parked there right now. I've got to get 2 of them out. So,
all right.
So the buyer was real happy. I'm sure they were. The tires alone were $500.
Yeah, there you are.
But anyway, so the Country Squire, we probably will. That'll be a spring project at this point.
Yeah.
When Raffi gets back.
Yeah, we'll have some fun with it.
The Volkswagen that we were going to do an episode in that's running great. Convertible top is brand new, works great. It's manual.
Good. Yeah.
Manual top and manual transmission. That's sitting in storage right now because it's perfect time now, October 5th, for a convertible.
Yeah.
Well, so those are car updates.
And speaking of convertibles, if you have one and you want to drive around in the scorching sun, please come to the San Francisco Bay Area and join me in the East Bay, where yesterday was 105 degrees. And we had a prior high in the nearby city of Concord 2 or 3 days ago at 109.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's ripping hot out here. And I'm sure Ray over in Reno is getting some warm temperatures, but I don't know if it's up in the triple digits out in other places. It's October, for goodness sakes. Normally, this time of the year, 80 might be the high. Even
Yeah,
San
that is
Francisco.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Common of auction, you never know what you'll get. Go to, that's true. I've had my little S10 or S15 GMC pickup truck. It needed nothing. I mean, we did a few things just to update, hoses and belts and whatnot.
Yeah.
Swapped out some tires and wheels, but that was probably my best vehicle I bought.
Well, and when it comes to auctions, you really never do know what's going to happen. I ran 2 auctions. One of them was no reserve, and the vehicle sold. And it sold for, I'm going to say 8,400 if by memory.
Look at this. This is exactly what I was looking at.
There you go.
It's so funny.
And we ran it again because the guy that bought it was not able to fulfill his commitment. To be fair, he lived in Texas and he had experienced some unexpected losses due to the hurricane. So we ran it again, and it sold for another $2,000 on top of that, just simply by running the auction again.
Yeah.
So you really never know what's going to happen in these circumstances in auction situations. We had another car, an El Camino, 1960 El Camino, and that car we ran with a reserve. It did not meet the reserve, and then we ran it again, no reserve, and not only exceeded the amount that we were hoping to get with it, it sold, of course, because it was no reserve, for I think $8,000 more than the high bid from the previous auction.
34,250 it sold for, and the first time it only got up to 28.
Yeah, so 6,000 more. Sorry, but that's the thing. You never know with auctions what's going to happen in a field auction, non-online auction. A lot of times it depends on what time you show up with the vehicle, what time it rolls across the the stage. Also matters what came before your car. Sometimes prices are building up, excitement builds, your car comes up, and it gets the price gets pulled up just based on the excitement of what's happening.
This is gorgeous.
You need to adjust your screen.
Oops.
Yep.
This is gorgeous.
Oh, this car was beautifully done. Every aspect of this car was beautifully done. And that restoration is older, probably now 18 years old, but you couldn't tell looking at it. Had a couple little chips, door chips and minor things, easily repaired. Gorgeous leather interior, beautiful surfacing on the, and the chrome was off the charts. And it's got a 327 engine in it and 4-speed.
So you can't put anything in this bed.
No. No, nothing really. It's no longer unless you line it with some blankets or something, it's no longer really a durable truck by any means. But that's a 1960, which is fairly rare. And it's been lowered and it's properly set up. It's done right. Underneath, there's had some chassis modifications, and it's a really strong runner, cold air conditioning, and it sold I think well. But one of the things that's happening in the market with hot rods, modified cars, custom cars is there's a lot of them out there. So unless you have a very fresh build with some very exciting, dynamic, modern stuff being done to it, people can pick and choose on their hot rod or custom car selection because there's a lot out there to buy. So
Beautiful.
a good example of that on Bring a Trailer was I think 2 days ago, a Dodge Challenger that had been modified, um, and they put a Charger body on top of it. So they did a modern version of the Dodge Challenger with a Charger body on it, and blue with white stripes, great interior, monster engine, sold for $300,000. So
Unbelievable.
yeah, yeah, you never know.
Ray did say how hot it is there, as Kramer would say. It's like a sauna in here.
Oh, Reno is hot.
Oh, Kramer said that in a sauna.
Yeah.
So bring a trailer. You have nothing on there right now.
I don't. I've got a Studebaker coming up, a 53 Studebaker, one of the Lowy coupes, red and white. Very, very nice car. That's coming up. Should be up by next week. And then I've got a very interesting one that I'm still working on. It's a 1927 Franklin. And
Wow.
if you've never seen a Franklin before, it's pretty impressive. It's an air-cooled engine from 1927, American manufacturer. And it's got a little pump up in the front that runs a fan that pushes cold air through to cool the engine. And the engine is these separate pistons. It's very similar to an aircraft engine. And it's a two-seater convertible boat tail speedster, which is unusual. You don't see that body configuration, and it has an interesting history as well. But here too, these pre-war American classics, the market is very limited for them now because a lot of people who used to connect to them, well, they're gone, and if they're still alive, they're no longer active in the market. So stuff that's selling actively tends to be newer.
So speaking of auctions, we did this a couple months ago. We had the Saab going. The Stokes auction.
Oh yeah,
which is going on right now. Starts Wednesday, runs for a week.
mm-hmm.
There's a nice box truck.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if you need a utility vehicle, if you're starting a business or you have one going or you're looking to put something together, auctions, used vehicle, that's the great way to go.
This one's got the cone holder on the front.
There you go. You need that.
Got to have a cone holder.
Absolutely.
Now, the F-150 has been the F-150 for many years, but prior to that, it was the F-100.
Mm-hmm.
They've never gone to like 160, 170, 180, or 200. So they know like 1,500, like on a Silverado, is the 3/4 or the quarter ton or the half ton, and then the 2,500 or the 250 is the 3/4 ton, and then the 3,500 is the 1 ton. They've kept those numbers for a long time.
Yeah, people like them. They're familiar. They become part of the brand. There's a pretty good car right there. Now that's a salvage title. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad car. Once you find out what it was salvaged for, still could be a very good car. Toyota makes great cars. This car will probably run forever if you keep oil in it. And it probably isn't going to sell for a whole heck of a lot of dough. A Mercedes, that's unusual at Stokes.
Here's one of Ray's cars.
Oh, there you go. That'll do well. This Hyundai product is, it's interesting. When Hyundai first came out I think they were available here in the late 80s. Oh, they were awful cars.
86 was the Hyundai Excel.
Yeah, the not great automobiles, just slightly better than the Yugo. Do you remember the Yugo, Dan?
Yep. They were $39.95.
Yes, very inexpensive, and there was a reason for that. That did not last.
And even now, they're having all kinds of problems with some of their engines from this era. They're good for 100,000 miles, give or take.
Yeah.
And if you don't maintain them, they're having all kinds of problems. So Ray's got number 7, 9, 16, 20, 22, and 23.
All
So
Ray cars. All
so
right.
this is a Ray car. Wait, was that a, did I see a big dent on the side of that? Oh yeah, this thing's got a nice smash.
Oh, there you go. Well, that'll
That'll buff out.
you could probably use the paintless dent repair. Now, there's a great one also.
This is Ray's.
All right.
Got himself a Jeep.
I won't say what I'm going to say about Jeeps right now. Oh, it's got extra tires.
There you go. That's worth something.
Absolutely.
Not sure what, but something. Little Chevy Spark, manual.
Yeah. Oh, a manual Spark.
Oh, wait a minute.
There you go.
Uh-oh.
What year?
74.
Ah, okay.
That's going to get all the money.
I think it will. Red Beetle, as long as it starts, runs, and drives. Oh, people are going to love that.
Yeah, it's got jumper cables in it and the tow hook.
These were everywhere in the 70s and 80s. They were everywhere. And people loved them. They were fairly easy to maintain. You could do a lot of the work on them yourself. My dad had a Volkswagen van, and I don't remember that car ever having any problem whatsoever. All we ever did was change the oil and, make sure that it kept running.
BMW diesel. Is this one of Ray's, number 12?
That's rare.
It's not one of Ray's, but yeah, it's a diesel.
Although diesel now, it's not the attractive fuel option that it used to be. Diesel is
it's more money. Hey, look at this 88 Dodge Ram.
There you go.
You're sold for what, 10 grand?
Yeah.
This one's not as nice. Not even close.
Ooh. Yeah.
Duct tape window.
But there's still there. Oh my goodness.
Oh my.
What happened there?
Somebody this will get more than the Saab.
Somebody with a sledgehammer was very angry.
Sadly, this will get more than the Saab.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. These cars also, these were enormously popular when they came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice Dodge Charger, Nissan Altima.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's just do the list version real quick so we can just see if there's anything exciting. Any classics?
Other than
Cadillac CTS.
Oh.
97 Toyota 4Runner.
That'll do well.
Volkswagen GTI. I could use that mirror.
Buy it for $265.
Look at this.
Oh, now see, this is the one after my heart. I think everybody at any point in their lives, they should buy a fire truck.
You would think they take all the equipment off of it.
Oh my gosh!
Before they sell it.
This is for sale. Wow. There's, this isn't a vintage fire truck, but vintage fire trucks are so much fun.
151,000 miles on it. It's got a new starter. Drive shaft installed. Oh, that's good. Both batteries are charged. Has generator. Got it running on starting fluid. Low coolant level. Won't start until coolant level is where it needs to be. Believe it will start if coolant is full. Ladder needs to be lifted to access motor to add coolant.
Believe it will start if coolant is full. So fill the coolant. Wow, this is something. That's a lot of equipment. These are like $300,000-$400,000 vehicles.
It's a telesquirt.
Yeah. Wow.
All right, you got some bikes.
Do they normally have bikes there?
Yeah, they usually have one or two. Oh, they only have 53 cars.
Honda Civic LX.
Bad tranny.
Bad tranny.
Number 46. I'm going to guess that's one of Ray's.
Ah, all right. Well, and this is the thing. Here, after we're done here today, I've got
not one of Ray's.
I've got a couple things to take care of, some errands to run, but I always go down to the local high school, San Ramon Valley High School, and out in front, they park cars for sale. And they've done this for years. And I've actually sold 2 cars back when I lived here. I actually sold 2 cars there. You put a sign on the car, drive it down there early in the morning, park there, and then just get a little lounge chair and sit in the shade, wait for somebody to walk up. The first car I sold there was my Acura coupe, Legend coupe, and I sold it by 11 o'clock and drove away. And I called my wife. I said, "Come pick me up. It's sold." The next one, by the end of the day, I had a buyer, but we weren't able to close the deal until the next day. Also, but the great thing is, you just walk by. Takes you about 30 minutes, 45 minutes to walk through, and it's like walking through a used car lot. And most of the cars are in very nice condition.
You have to pay a fee?
No, it's just public walk by.
There was a guy on TikTok that was saying he had a genius business model. Because you find like a community college,
Yeah,
and you ask them if you can, rent their parking lot for a Saturday,
sure.
and you charge $149 to park your car. And then you advertise it as, giant used car sale, all private cars. And people just bring their car in, park it. They pay $149 to get in, to park, to have their car.
Yeah.
And then people can come look at cars. So you get 100 cars.
It's
$14,900 on a Saturday afternoon. You pay the school, grand.
It's not a bad idea. There may
Yeah.
be some limitations on how you manage that. I know, like the Good Guys here, that's a hot rod and custom group. It's a business they set up to do shows. They have the Good Guys swap. So you can bring your car to the Good Guys swap, and they charge for you to go in to bring your car, and then you set it up there with a for sale sign. And oftentimes the swap meet and car exchange goes very well. Back in LA, when I lived there, we would go to the Pomona swap, and oftentimes I'd buy a car, get it cleaned up and detailed, and drive over there and put it up for sale, and hope that I would sell it in time to get the money to buy something else to drive home in. And that happened a couple of times, including one time where I didn't quite make it home. There's always one of those stories. So yeah.
Dan says everyone needs a fire truck.
Absolutely.
Maybe there's a small town or area looking for a lower cost unit. That's true.
Yeah. And if you need one, 150,000 miles on a fire truck is nothing. Fire trucks will run 300,000-400,000 miles. They more likely run out of equipment viability before they age out, before they mechanically run out. But yeah, they are not cheap when they are new. So that could be a really good opportunity. I'd be curious. Maybe we can find out what that sells for.
Well, we'll find out on the 14th.
There you go. So
now, I just pulled up the Tesla website. I was just curious real quick.
Yeah.
If you go to order an all-wheel drive $94,000 Cybertruck, it says estimated delivery October to November 2024. So what does that? I mean, we're in October. They're available.
Yeah. Listen, do you know how many they sold?
Well, when they had the first recall, I think it was like 5,000.
Yeah, I remember that.
Cars.
Have they sold?
Let's find out.
Yeah, because I'm curious. I don't think they sold more than 20,000 of those. I could be wrong, but it seems to me
12,000. It says. Oh, that was 3 months ago. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't think they've sold much more in the past 3 months.
That's June.
Yeah.
5,100 were delivered in July alone.
Wow. I know. I saw 2 semi trucks on the way driving down. I saw 2 semi trucks bringing nothing but Cybertrucks up north. That was a frightening scene.
Yeah. When I was in LA, I saw a ton. I don't think I saw I might have seen one silver one. They were all black or white. I saw a purple one.
Yeah, they get wrapped. People wrap them up, and there's a satin black one in the city that I see periodically. They're very difficult to park. They're so large they don't fit in standard parking spots, and they're problematic in a lot of the older San Francisco area garages because they're too tall.
Yeah.
So they can't.
Now, what I've been looking at is the Hummer.
Oh yeah,
The Hummer is actually looking pretty amazing. The EV.
it it,
Uh,
it is amazing, and I'll
it
tell
does a
you.
crab walk. You get out of a parking space going, all it's four-wheel steering. You can just
Yeah,
kind of out of the parking space.
and I think it has park assist, so it will park for you, because that's a weird thing to try and do yourself. But I'll tell you what, that Hummer, um, that that vehicle, I have a lot of respect for that vehicle because it is a technological tour de force. That thing has got so much technology built in it. I went to the dealership here just so I could see the features and the details and look at mine. First off, it's an enormous vehicle. It's very big, not bigger than the Cybertruck, but it's a big vehicle. It's very impressive. The technology is very impressive, and unfortunately, these are not selling well.
No.
Uh, they're so you can get a good deal on one right now. The one I would recommend is the SUV model, uh, just simply because I think it has more utility. Um,
Well, how is that more utility if you can't put stuff in the bed?
no, the SUV model is more utility for family use.
Oh,
I would
okay.
just, yeah. And for unless you're buying a truck for uh, business use, or you're actually a contractor and you need that bed for hauling stuff around, for the most part, 90% of your daily driving cargo needs can be managed much better with an SUV, and it's a little more secure as well. So if you need a pickup truck, because you're regularly going, doing hauls, or doing some contracting work, um, it's better to get a truck, of course, but I think the SUV is the better overall vehicle.
I mean, you can get the Omega Limited Edition
Yeah,
from 150.
not cheap. There's no doubt about that, but
You can
I
get
think
but the thing with leases on these is I've seen leases like in the $700-800 range.
yeah, um,
I would
yeah,
go white.
you'd get a white one.
I think I'm a white guy now.
I think
Well,
that's yeah. I got news for you. You've been a white guy for a while.
well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is. Um, but yeah, I think they've done a very good job developing this vehicle. But realistically speaking, we could devote a whole show to whether or not electric vehicles are going to continue to be the dominant uh, sort of flavor of the month in the automobile industry. If you look at the charting, sort of the progression of electric vehicle technology, it's growing tremendously, but the demand for electric vehicles is not growing as fast as the technology is building. Now, in the past, we had demand exceeding supply for electric vehicles. And we no longer have that, partially because we have a lot of used electric vehicles out there now that are, for all intents and purposes, half the price of the new ones. And since much of electric vehicle mechanicals comes down to software and battery, you can deal with those things pretty easily at 50% the cost of the used one. So they become actually pretty attractive vehicles to buy used, which I think is cutting into the new car EV sales market.
Yeah, I just built mine, so there it is.
Nice. How much?
108,
108.
but I would lease it.
I think they would come down substantially on that price. Um,
Yeah, because
But
if there are any sitting in stock right now,
yeah, oh, there's plenty of them sitting in stock. They're having a great deal of difficulty selling that vehicle. And I think they're worried about incentivizing people too soon, because the people that bought them early on will get very upset. But it's the freaking space shuttle inside. Did you zoom in on that dash? It's unbelievable how much technology is in that vehicle. It's pretty impressive. Look at that.
yeah,
You know, there's all sorts of systems, subsystems.
systems of the subsystems,
Yes, yeah,
system of a down,
yes,
but they've kept with the wide,
yep,
keep the passenger and the driver away from each other.
yep. That has that. They don't need it necessarily in this vehicle, although they probably kept it from the sort of legacy of that type of package, because people get in and they want to feel like it's a very different uh, vehicle. But I think the design is well done. It doesn't offend the eyes nearly as much as the Cybertruck does.
No,
Yeah, and super durable vehicle. Again, General Motors and Ford have built some of the most amazing uh, trucks uh, over the past 100 years. And trucks, American trucks built this country. They built the roads, they built the infrastructure, they built, they farm our agriculture. So they really have to perform, and
that's not what I was looking for.
that's why American trucks are such great vehicles, and the Cybertruck is not, because it's so poorly built.
But then you look at the Silverado,
Yeah.
which is basically what I mean. Instead of doing the Hummer is based on this car. I mean, really,
Mhm.
it's got a lot of the similarities.
Yes. Uh, Quite a bit less in price, though. Silverado is, I think, somewhere between 18 and 25% lower price. Um, and I think you can get a fairly well optioned one for significantly less than the Hummer.
I mean, here, I put $100 deposit down when they first announced this,
Hmm.
and they just called me the other day. They're like, "Well, we've got some RSTs in stock,
Hmm.
$97,000."
Well, that's a lot. But again, the truck model, for people that buy most of these trucks, if they're buying them for utility purposes, it's going to be their work truck. So they can write off a substantial portion of what they pay. And if you buy it, you get, I think there's 10-year financing now. So your payment is quite a bit lower than it would have been under traditional financing. So it suits people's needs from a use perspective. If it's your business vehicle, if it's your personal vehicle for fun and recreation and just having a big truck, different financial model there. 'Cause that's a lot of money to spend on a vehicle, basically a big sedan with an open trunk.
But if you look at the interior of this, it's pretty much the same interior.
It's actually completely different. The design is
Well, I'm just saying, if you look at, you've got dual screens,
yes,
you've got the
big,
same, you've got the big wideness to it. The,
yep,
the shifter's not here; it's up here.
yeah.
It
They're
looks like,
built on the same platform,
yeah.
but this series vehicle is more automotive than the Hummer. The Hummer is much more truck-like, a little more rugged looking. The aesthetic is less automotive.
It's funny. I reached out to the Dan says, "Is there a two-door option at Silverado?" No.
No, but that's a really good point. There really should be, because I think GM would be able to sell that really well. I don't know if GM has the equivalent of the Maverick. Ford does the Maverick, and I like the Maverick. I think that's a clever package. Uh, but do they do a two-door Maverick, Dan?
They had a two with the third door, like an extended cab.
Ah,
But let me see what they have now because I know that the Maverick is still kind of what I'd really want to get.
I think the Maverick suits your needs more than the bigger uh, platform GMC or Hummer. I think you'd get better use out of it. Yeah, it's a well done vehicle,
Yeah,
but they don't do a two door, do they?
I believe not. Let's see. They've got the Lobo, which is this sporty one.
Right.
Yeah, they're all four door.
Yeah.
The
Uh,
XL, XLT, Lariat, Tremor, and Lobo. I would get the Lariat with the hybrid engine.
there you go.
Uh, I think I've landed on this color
Oh, all right.
because if you go with white, it looks like a work truck.
It does. I agree with you. That's a little too green for me.
Yeah, it's a little too blue.
Yeah.
This is kind of azure.
Yeah. And interior? Well, the interior is all the same, isn't it?
Yeah, there's only one interior.
Yeah.
Let's see.
There you go. Well, and again, it's almost half the price, which it's not going to be half the vehicle for your needs.
I mean, I don't know that I like this interior. It looks very Kia-ish.
Well, it's more of an economy vehicle. The Maverick, when Ford first introduced the Maverick, it was the lower priced alternative to the um, to the Mustang, and it was slightly higher priced and had more room than a Pinto. So it fit a very necessary market segment, and they made Maverick two doors and Maverick four doors, and they made the Maverick as a grabber, which could be our old school for this.
Oh,
Why don't we do a quick old school before we have to wrap up for the day? Since you brought up the Maverick.
yes. First, of course, Ray Pepper. Material's so cheap.
Well,
I don't know.
again,
The
it's
25 I've not seen yet.
you got to see it in person. He may be right, but it is a lower cost vehicle.
Yeah, but it's time for old school.
Yeah.
Audio Jungle.
All right, we're going old school today, and today we're going to talk about the Ford Maverick. That's right. The Maverick began not as a truck, even though the new offering from Ford, as we just saw earlier, is presented as a four-door pickup truck. But the Maverick started out, I believe, in 1969 as a concept vehicle based on the idea of a slightly larger Pinto. And the Maverick was sort of a higher end version of the Pinto, came in two and four door, and also came with, in the two door model, with the high end Maverick Grabber. And the Grabber package came with a sporty hood and a V8 engine. And if you had a two door Maverick Grabber, you could have a lot of fun with that. Give it slight modifications, and you could keep up with a Mustang. Now, most of the Mavericks were made in the 70s, from 1970 to I think 1977. I believe they stopped production
That's correct.
in 1977. But well-appointed cars. They came with cloth and vinyl interiors. Most of the basic interior systems were borrowed from other cars, other Ford products. So your steering wheel is going to look familiar. Your pedals, some of the details you see here, the taillights will be similar to the Pinto. And the platform engineering also borrowed from some of the other vehicles in the Ford lineup. But this was a very, very efficient, effective vehicle, low cost, easy to maintain. And they were everywhere. They sold very, very well, but they have vanished since, it's 50 plus years now. But if you can find a Grabber Maverick in good condition, expect to pay anywhere between $10,000 and $20,000 for a nice, well-restored or well-maintained one. But if you don't get the grabber model and you want to get just a nice average Maverick, you could pick up one for about $6,000 to $8,000, and you'd have a fun vehicle that you can enjoy tinkering with. It's not a complex car at all. Things like brakes and transmission are very easy to work with, and you can drop a Mustang engine into it and go have some fun, just like this one here. Put some Shelby stripes on it and enjoy the drive. What did this one sell for, Dan?
This one was withdrawn for some reason.
They may have had an issue with the title or some other aspect of it, but
sold elsewhere.
Oh, no kidding! Wow.
Sold outside the auctions. Unfortunately, you can't go to the end of the auction. This car cannot be delivered to a winning bidder.
Wow.
Let's see where it was at though. If it had 6,000 was the high bid.
6,000.
Yeah.
It probably would have closed off maybe a little higher, but you could see.
Sold for 54. Here's a four-door that sold for $12,000.
That's probably a super low mile car. That's probably all original. But even then, it's a four-door, probably low mile car.
6,300 miles shown.
Impossible to find. This was probably, look at the interior. It looks like new. This is probably somebody's grandmother's car, and the guy bought it out of grandma's garage and cleaned it up and offered it up for sale. Now, selling for $12,000 sounds like a lot of money, but what do you get for 12 grand these days? So here you've got a great car you can take to Cars and Coffee. People will look at it. Young kids love these things because they've never seen anything like it. Keep in mind, this is a 50-plus-year-old car, so anybody in their 20s or 30s would have never seen them driving on the road. So it looks unique. It's an interesting way at looking at automobile history. It's not a Mustang, and it's not a Pinto. It's like, what? Where'd that come from?
Yeah, some of the comments, the seller said, I believe this to be actual mileage. Still has paper around the driver's side visor showing how to properly start the car. I also brought it to a well-known car restoration company in my area. The owner of the company drove it. His words, "This is the real deal."
There you go.
So yeah, there's some gorgeous ones out there. Here's a grabber.
There you go.
Sold for $5 grand.
Yeah, and go ahead and click on that because you'll see he's a pretty sporty looking car.
Oh, this was back in 18.
Yeah, this would not be $5 grand today. But a sporty looking car. Look at those bumpers too. Whew. Fun 70s colors. Look at that interior. I mean, you can't go wrong with something like this because it's just a ton of fun, and it's never going to hurt. It's never going to hurt you financially. If you pay 10 grand for it and you have fun with it, you go to sell it 5-6 years later and you sell it for 10 grand. You had a lot of fun with it, and and you're never going to see yourself coming around the corner because there's just not enough of them left to where you're going to compete. And quite frankly, I think a pretty good-looking car overall. Sure, it suffers from the big heavy bumpers from that era, but I've seen ones that have been done as customs where the bumpers come off and they put larger wheels and tires on it, and they do slight modifications to it. Boy, they look as modern as can be.
Yeah, this is pretty amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, that's our old school, the Ford Maverick. Go find one.
There you go.
And have some fun. You can even restore it and not spend a lot of money.
Dan Lindquist says 302 V8 in those can be beefed up quite easily.
Oh yeah, the same engine in the Boss 302 was only slightly modified and detuned for the 70s, but you can bring it back to life very, very easily, and you can double the horsepower from what the factory offered with only minor modifications. So Dan's absolutely right about that.
And then he also said going back to the pickup trucks, he'd want a full-size bed. More often, people with camping gear, picnic basket, and coolers.
Yeah, and if if your lifestyle demands a full size bed in the truck, absolutely. That's what, if you're moving around a lot of plywood, you're moving around roofing materials, you're moving around tools and things, absolutely. Yeah, and that's why I keep hoping Dan's going to get a truck, because it's always important to have a friend with a pickup truck.
Well, I have a pickup truck now.
Well, that's right. Yeah. So I know I can always hit you up if I need it.
Yeah. My goal is just to get my lease. I did the Polestar Flex lease, which is now, I've hit my 5 months. At any point I could walk away.
You're flexing.
Yeah. So I'm shopping to see if I can get a pickup truck, especially the hybrid. I mean, the Maverick gets 40 miles a gallon.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I'd lease it or buy it. But then I can get rid of my little 1988 GMC, which I think I'm bringing a trailer, would actually get some money.
I think you're right. I think it would do well,
especially we have to buff it out a little bit.
Yeah. Do it no reserve.
S15.
We do it no reserve, and you know what? I'll bet it'll sell for more than $265.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah, I think so. Well, you want to do gas prices and help me manage the shock of California fuel costs?
I was surprised when I was just down there. I got gas for $4.40.
When were you down here? Because
2 weeks ago.
It ain't $4.40 now. It's been coming up $4.79, $4.89. That's if you're at some of the economy stations. Most places around town, $5 5. Gas is pretty consistently in the $5s up here. Now that may not be so in some of the other rural areas, but.
Well, hold on. Before we talk about it, hold on. Oh, my hand disappeared. Hold on.
How much is gas where you live?
There we go.
All right.
So who do you think has the cheapest?
Cheapest gas, I'll go with Oklahoma.
They're in 4th place.
4th place. Wow.
It's good old Mississippi. MISSI PPI 262. I mean 268 too.
268.
They have the cheapest mid grade at 310. But Oklahoma has the cheapest premium at 337.
Okay.
Diesel cheapest is in
Montana.
Texas.
Now, what's Washington's average for fuel?
402.
402. Yeah, so
California's 467.
Yeah, on average. Yeah.
So what are you seeing?
Well, I'm seeing. I paid just the other day. I paid $4.79, and that was at one of the local economy based stations like Rotten Robbie or what's the other one? Valero. So Dan says it's 350-ish. Dan's in the Metro Oregon area.
Is Oregon a metro area?
Or Portland is. Yeah, there you go. Portland, Oregon, Metro Oregon.
Ray says I should shop at Stokes for my next vehicle. No, thank you. I mean, great for Stokes, but I'm not for a daily. Chris says I should get a Cybertruck. Not going to happen. You must have tuned in late after we were already talking about them.
Maybe you should get a Cybertruck, Dan, and we can take it apart. We can ruin it on the show.
I need something that doesn't make people immediately look at me and go, "That guy's an asshole." I felt like kind of a douchebag when I had my Tesla.
Oh, but not when you first had it.
When I first had, around here I was fine, but then when I was working for Copart and I had to go drive to these little crappy dealerships, that have 30 cars on a gravel lot, I'm like, I can't show up in a Tesla, because even in 2016 that was a big deal.
Yeah, is I heard the phrase the other day, douche nozzle. Is douche nozzle?
Douche nozzle. Yeah, that's actually the because the douche bag I think is more.
Is the bag worse than the nozzle, or is the?
I think the nozzle. I don't know. I think we have to analyze it. Adam paid $336 for regular.
That's good.
at the Tahoma Market in Fife.
That's actually very good. Wow, that's $1 plus less than I'm paying. You know, wow.
Musk likes Trump, but driving a Tesla is Kamala. That's where it's all confusing.
Yeah, it's
The Cybertrucks. I mean, there aren't a ton of Trump supporters. Well, there are. Let's not get political.
yes. Let's not get political.
Yeah, vote with your
Actually,
hand when you fill
actually,
out the ballot.
vote paying attention to the issues. Here's a novel idea. Pay attention.
Yeah, all I can say is people were complaining that the vice presidential debate was boring.
Well,
that's what they're supposed to be.
That's what you're supposed to talk about, stuff that you don't want to hear about. Oh,
yes.
Oh, yeah. Well,
politics is not supposed to be. They're not supposed to be celebrities.
Yeah.
Politicians are supposed to be boring.
Yeah,
most politicians, you don't even know who they are. If you saw them in a crowd, you wouldn't even know who they were.
It's not Entertainment Weekly. It's yeah, politics is hard work.
Yeah.
And it's mostly stuff people don't want to do.
Speaking of, if you go to danrosenberg.com, I have a brand new website.
That's him, danrosenberg.com. You got some comedy stuff coming up too, Dan.
What's that?
You got some comedy stuff coming up too.
Yes, we've got comedy coming up in Pittsburgh. I've got 2 shows.
Mm-hmm.
I've got one in Kingston. I've got one the week after I get back from Pittsburgh. Then the Seattle Comedy Competition's coming up at Bainbridge Performing Arts. It's all at danrosenberg.com. Brand new website. And famous Radical Ray from TikTok endorses Kamala.
There you go. That's
platform.
That's Radical Ray. Now, Dan, are you running the sitcom at any of the shows?
No. Because I'm not headlining a lot of these shows. A few of them are outdoor, like, not outdoor, but they're like, well, the 2 in Pittsburgh, I'm not. It's many comics, including there's a new thing out there called Don't Tell Comedy.
Oh.
Where they don't tell the audience who's on the show or where it is until the day of the show.
Ah.
And they have 200 locations across the country. So I'm doing a show in Pittsburgh. I have another show in Pittsburgh, but these aren't big headliner theater shows or anything.
All right. Well,
they'll be fun shows.
Yeah.
But no, the sitcom right now is on embargo. Because we have submitted to the South by Southwest Festival.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask when that is.
And we won't find out. We could find out soon. I have been able to tell that they've been looking at it because I can track when they check the link.
Good. Tony
here's the new web page.
Tony says you need to use ChatGPT in order to
new comedy specials out, over 24,000 views already in the first month.
Excellent.
Here are the upcoming shows.
That's a great photo.
And then look at this.
It's a lot. There you go.
But wait, hold on. Hold on, it's coming. There it is.
There it is.
Yeah, a little bit of everything in this.
That's great.
Scott did a really good job building this website.
That's great. It looks great. You gotta get a shot of the guy everybody thinks who asks for is it Susan at the very end, and everyone thinks that's
he says who the F is Emily.
Yeah.
So here's the new site. If you want to go to danrosenberg.com, if you haven't checked out the comedy special yet, it's on YouTube. Please go watch it. Tell your friends.
Yeah.
And that's it.
All right. And look at us. We used up the hour.
We did.
All right.
And, hopefully we'll be back soon. Maybe this will be the first Saturday of every month. Maybe that's how we'll do it for the rest. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe if you're back in town one of the days, we'll do another local one.
Yeah, we can do that. Well, we'll certainly pick back up in December because I'll be back by then.
There you go. Well, here comes the music that'll be stuck in your head until 3 this afternoon. Bye, everybody.
See ya.